Okay. What's up, guys? Brad Chappell here. I got my bud,
Dustin.
Dustin. What's up, everybody?
I came in a little early.
Yeah, he dropped on in the house today, and getting to experience the res life a little bit sooner than later.
I'm already getting a little slang in my vocabulary too, getting that old Southern accent in. You know what I'm saying?
Guys, tonight's subject I want to kind of discuss is cold front conditions. If you're anywhere in the South right now, everybody knows that it's a big cold front that just moved through. It really hit us past Sunday, and it's changed up things a lot. But we're gonna kick it off, and I'll go ahead and tell you my today's bite while Dustin plays with his phone.
Yeah.
Guys, actually, I've seen a lot. These fish last week, they were chomping it. I think I could have caught them any way I wanted to, from casting to them to spider rigging to long line trolling to anything. Now, this cold front kind of hit, and I noticed something when I got back on the lake Monday morning is these fish, they all went to the bottom, and they went deep on the bottom. The last 2 days I've been catching them really in about 16-foot water to about 22 foot of water right off the bottom. And one thing that I know you've heard a lot us talk about is downsizing. And that's really been a key for me the last 2 days is going to be downsizing. Had to move it a little bit slower, had to really put it in front of the fish's face. And then they would get bited, of course. We've had good days on the water, but the wind and the cold fronts definitely made it more challenging, and it's not going anywhere for the next couple of days.
No, for sure. So I've been at Grenada the last 7 or 8 days guiding as well before the tournament, and it was kind of the same exact story. We're not far apart being here from the res to Grenada's 2 hours, hour 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So it was the same story. You couldn't do any wrong. The fish were super aggressive, but still running, and that's just a Grenada Lake thing, I believe, because I don't know if I caught one fish sitting still all week, maybe a handful, but all the fish we would see, we came up to, and See, you're still live.
Guys, we're out there. Can you hear me right now? Give me a comment, see if we get back in. Sonny, Charles, anybody hear me? Looks like we're back in business.
Look, you're on. By gosh.
All right.
How in the world?
Thanks for everybody hanging tight with us. Don't know exactly what all happened with that deal, but we got it ironed back out, hopefully, and got back into it. Hey, I appreciate everybody coming on tonight. There's so many people on right now. I
For
can't
sure.
even announce everybody.
Thank you, guys. Golly, where were we? We was at my Grenada Lake adventure,
That's
but I
right.
don't know where we were from it.
Start from beginning.
So yeah, I'll just restart. I guided there all week. This last week, been there 7 or 8 days before the tournament, and the fish are on fire. It's a trip of a lifetime if you come down here without super crazy wind. And the cold front that he was talking about just moved in. It didn't make the fish any more lethargic. They're still eating. They just moved back a little bit. They were up there doing their thing, spawning. The females were 6 foot, 4 to 6 foot, and the males were up there in the 2 foot range, laying nests, getting everything ready. And now things look like they moved out just a little bit more. But all the fish were running still. But if you run them fish down while they're moving and get a bait in front of them, they would eat it. And when I say eat it, they were gulping it down. I've got 3 favorite colors we used out there in Grenada, the top ones anyway. My number one was the live minnow baby shad. Hopefully y'all can see that. But that was the number one killer. And then I left it in the truck and started using this one. And this is the double rainbow glitter.
Double silver rainbow.
Yeah. Double silver rainbow.
That's right.
And that's the slab slayer. And guys, that was an absolute killer too. And we used that just about the rest of the trip. And then on the sunshiny days, we used Brad's favorite, the old mud dauber. So those 3 colors, guys, you can't go wrong. I posted a few pictures today of a trip. These fish, when they are hitting these baits, especially this, when they were knocking the fire out of it, it was down in their gullet. And you were gilling a lot of fish. Thankfully, we were keeping a mess to eat. But if you guys are headed down to Grenada, I got a lot of text messages after that trip of posting it. People going down, Greg messaged me of updates up there. It's great. Everything is fishing fantastic. If you can get out of the wind, if it's a north wind, it's self-explanatory. Go on the north side of the bank and hide from it. I don't think there's a place on that lake in Grenada that you can't drop your trolling motor and find some fish. Of course, bigger fish are in certain areas, but if you're just wanting to go catch solid fish, it's a 12-inch limit fish there. It's amazing. We had an absolute blast. Yesterday we caught a 290. So a lot of 2-pounders, 2 1/4, 2.5, 270s. We had a blast. Grenada's fishing amazing, and this still has a ton of pressure. And spider rigging is still alive. There was more spider riggers on that lake than I've ever seen before. I'd say out of 50 boats, there was 50 spider riggers. No live scope, nothing. A ton of people out there spider rigging and catching fish. So I thought that was fascinating. I loved watching them. It was super cool. A lot of I'm talking flat bottom John boats. You talk it. Everybody's out there and everybody's catching fish. So Grenada is amazing and a blast. It was fun.
And guys, to kind of hit on that same subject, let us know your today's bite and let us know what's going on in your neck of the woods. Go ahead and tell us the details like we're saying here tonight. What part of the lake are you fishing? What lake you're fishing? What depth? And like I said earlier about me here on the res, these fish have actually, man, they went to the bottom after this big cold front hit them. And today around lunchtime, I actually started noticing them come up off the bottom some. And, you just got to be persistent and keep searching for fish.
Yeah,
That's the
sure.
number one thing I see people do when they get on the lake.
Ton of fish on bottom in Grenada as well.
People give up very easy.
Exactly.
You get on the water out there, the last thing you want to do is just give up and go into the house. Keep searching for new stuff, new water.
Man, that goes to the trip yesterday. We had some crazy wind on Grenada. Whether they say 5 mile per hour or 10, out here in Mississippi, I'm starting to learn they need to add a 0 to the end of all these numbers. Because, oh my gosh, 5 mile per hour wind back home where I'm at in Oklahoma is great. That's going to be a perfect day out there. You got just a little chop and you're going to go out there and kill the fish. 5 mile per hour out here, you better watch where you're putting in or you're sinking your boat.
Yeah.
I mean, it was absolutely terrifying looking out there. It can kind of swallow you. And at the cleaning station at the state park there, a lot of people were coming up to me while we were cleaning fish and thinking, you guys went out there, how'd you do it? This and that. Don't look at that lake and think it can definitely, what's it called? Scare you at first looking at it. Don't let it intimidate you. Seeing those rollers and everything, because there's areas you can go hide out of the wind and those fish are loaded in there.
Yeah.
So there's boat ramps. We use Choctaw, Graysport. You just don't put in on these ramps if the wind's blowing into them. But Graysport, anywhere in those areas, guys, you can get out of a north wind. And it was amazing. I couldn't believe all the main lake, how it would look, but you'd go around and it would feel like 5 to 10 mile per hour wind. So don't let it scare you. Get out there and find them. Our trip yesterday, I stopped in one arm, fished it for a couple hours. We had the big rain and storm and a cold front, and the rain was cold. It pushed the fish down, and they were super lethargic. Couldn't get them to move. And we loaded the boat up, like he said, just not giving up, staying persistent, and moved into another arm and caught them. We left with limits and 2 wall hangers, just staying after them, like Brad just said. So,
yeah, the thing is, you get on the lake and the fish aren't where you left them at, and the next thing your mindset is, what happened to them? And you got to actually come back and think about things a little bit and say, all right, this cold front just hit. I don't think they went across the there's a big cat in the shop.
Oh my God. I mean, we've got the scariest looking cat looking us in the face right now.
It's a wild cat.
And I mean a wild cat. It looks like a bobcat. Oh my gosh.
I've never seen that cat before.
What are you going to do it? I thought it was coming out for a minute more. Anyways.
That's pretty unique.
I'd like to put myself in the fish's position on those cold fronts, like you're saying. If I was a fish and and we got freezing rain and that top layer where they've been sitting came in, what would I do? And we're getting ready to get some cat wrangling going on in this shop. But yeah, guys, that cold front, don't let it deter you. Those fish are still out there and going to eat somewhere. Don't be afraid to move ramps, load it up, go somewhere else. Like I said, we were close to where a river rolled in.
Bait of the week, my bait of choice was a slab hunter, which is I don't know if you can see that reflection on there or not, but it's a big bait, and it's been really good for me. I mean, caught a ton of fish last week on this big bait with it, and they wouldn't react to these baits as well. So I had to think back. All right, I know the fish are still here. I can see some of them on my live scope. And what am I going to do again? And this is 1.25 inches, very small bait, but it works extremely well in tough conditions. So if you're experiencing a tough bite and the baits are doing their job down there, but the fish aren't reacting to you, come back and downsize, change profiles. They're not going to bite today. I just need to go on home.
Connection, crappie connection.
Been using the hashtag connection this past week. Guys, I definitely appreciate everybody for doing that, and keep it up. If you got any kind of good fish reports, hey man, post them on there. Put the hashtag. Uh-oh. Is it any better, guys?
Yeah, that was at 1929. We're at 2902. So
Freezing a lot.
I'm telling you, we're struggling with this today. It's because I came over here, guys. It's bad luck. I'm telling you.
Can't get my tongue.
Yeah, the sync connection's really bad.
Guys, I'm gonna restart the live here.
hang
We're
on.
just gonna kick back out.
It's looking like mine's looking better. Guys, how's it looking now with the good right now? Man, I don't know what's going on
Appreciate
here.
that, Chad.
Crappie disconnection. I like that one.
Who said that one?
Mitch Ward.
That was snazzy. Better now. Okay, good, you guys. But
Gosh.
what I was going back to the same subject line is, change your profiles up, especially if you're in a location that you really feel confident that you got fish located at. Change that profile up, slow down. Cold front conditions, man, it's been tough, but because we've got the wind really howling this week. Monday was real bad with wind. Today was pretty tough with the wind as well. Tomorrow looks actually awesome. Cannot wait. But, change that profile up. Tell us some of the things that you're needing help with right now. So shoot us some questions if you got any right now. I see Jeff. I'm going
Horseshoe Lake in Arkansas. The front pushed the fish to the bottom. Had to slow way down to keep the baits. You have to keep the baits closer to the fish. That seems like this time of year a cold front thing. When you get a nasty cold front comes in, the fish slow down. You have to slow everything else down with them. Bait presentation, putting the fish on them. It all slows everything down.
Joshua, I see your comment about how bad did it affect the res this past week with this cold front. I was catching fish last week as shallow as in some 8 foot of water. 8 to probably 14 was probably my key areas that I was looking for on top sides of ledges. But during this cold front, it actually pushed them back to a little bit deeper water for myself and sent them straight to the bottom. And, like I said, I changed up profiles the last 2 days. And I think yesterday I had about 35 and about the same today. I did actually a total catch and release guided fishing trip, which is, man, it's fun doing those things.
Oh, yeah. I love the catch and release.
What's really fun about it is you got people fishing by you over there and, you catch a fish and you turn right back. At least some of these people think you're crazy, but it's fun to do those kind of trips too. There's
a lot of pressure laid off of you too. I guess for me, I'm always trying to get limits and get stuck on just filling the boat full of fish. But when you're not keeping them, it's not as much pressure or stress, and we just go out, have a good time fishing. So that's always fun.
Charles, I see your question about Rose's Bluff. I didn't fish it. The wind hasn't allowed me the last 2 days to fish Rose's Bluff area. There's fish in that area for sure. I would key in tomorrow probably around 14 to 20 foot of water. And like I said, today they were right off the bottom, about a foot when it comes around lunchtime. Now, beginning this morning, they were laying on the bottom. But I think, tomorrow is the 4th day of this big cold front that come across our area. So these fish should start settling back down and kind of getting used to this temperature change. I'm the kind of guy that I don't like a big temperature change, no matter if it's getting really hot real quick or getting really cold really quick. Same thing. I like to slow things down and really just go back to basics, I guess you would say, and really just search for the fish. But they're still catchable. That's the thing about it is these fish can still be caught no matter what really conditions you got. But you just got to keep on searching for things. I'm trying to read some comments here.
Yeah, I agree there. Richard Falk said the cold front hasn't affected the bite on Grenada. That's what I said there. They just moved a little deeper. Yeah, for sure. The bite is still unbelievable. We were just kind of talking about that. They suck those baits deeper than I think I've ever seen fish hit a jig. They were slapping it so hard that you would hear the line on the eyelets sometimes whack it. I mean, it was amazing. And those males are sitting on stumps. So just catching a mess of eaters, those stumps are holding fish. And then off the stumps are big females just suspended. We were having an absolute blast out there. And it just seems like somehow that place just keeps some fish.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. We caught a lot of fish with several different hook holes in their mouth, from the pressure. So I thought, my gosh, how it stands up, I understand, but it's still producing fish. And it was a great time.
David, I see your question. Read it back. Having trouble getting fish to interested to commit, should pull it away or hold on them. You know, either change up my profile, color, or something not exactly right. You're getting their attention, but they're not committing to actually biting. And that's one of the things I switched from. Was I was using a big bait last week, and the beginning of Monday, whenever I back, and I'm gonna go back to what was working beforehand, and those fish would follow it up or just kind of ease up in that direction, but they wouldn't actually commit to biting it at that point. And that's, you can change up things. Very few any lake can say, well, this is the only bait they would bite today and the only color. But I'm gonna keep on trying things until I feel like I've got the best bait and I'm getting those reactions that I want. But
It looked like Matt Singley is going to Grenada in the morning with Richard. So I'll be curious to see how that goes, guys. Good luck tomorrow. It should be a dang good day to go whack them. So enjoy that one. You picked a good day, Matt. That should be a great time.
Scott, today I noticed it around, let me think, I was 56 degrees. Last week it was 66, 68. So it's dropped 10 degrees in,
Yeah,
5 days.
same over there. If we first got there the first day, there was 70 to 72 degree water temp.
Yeah.
And now you can find anywhere from 55 to 58 from what I've seen.
Now, guys, another thing I asked last week, we're right at about 7,500 followers on Facebook. Excuse me, on YouTube. Make sure you're still using the hashtag Crappie Connect, 10K Crappie Connection. It helps, especially on the YouTube side of things, getting more traffic generated to our site. So let me see who's all out there right now. And, this is going to be our roll call kind of time. So everybody watching, go ahead and throw it out there. What's your home lake?
Stephen Sullivan says he broke off. This has been happening a lot lately. So he broke off a 260 in the tournament and caught it again 10 seconds later and got his jig back, still in its throat. That's something we're seeing more often with the live scope is people hooking a fish and then chasing it down and catching it again. And guys, that is something. It's something to see for sure. But and she fell off into back into the water and set back up and caught her again after that. So when you miss a fish, don't get upset about it and lose your mind. Try to stay back on that. If you stay on them, sometimes you get them to bite again. You might have to chase them a little while, but they can turn back up and bite.
Back some of your comments. I see, man. Fire Chief, appreciate you, man, watching. Craig.
Thank you guys for all
David.
the comments. Yeah.
About that one, high gain, or I like to see that. That's pretty interesting topic for me.
guys. Ooh, we missed you guys. Woo. We're going to put full hats on real quick.
Everybody
And,
still around? Roll
God.
call. Who's there? Anybody make it through all this?
Man. Yeah, we back. I see us here. Golly.
We're probably gonna kick it over and restart it again another night, just because this one's been so iffy, I guess you would say, tonight. But I want to touch on another subject. I appreciate everybody saying the up there here. Woo, Sonny, Houston, Chad, Jeffrey, Dennis, Charles, Power Crappie, Jeff, Michael. Had a little internet issue, so kind of bear with things. We're not in the actual studio. We're in my boat shop, so it's a little bit different environment than some other settings.
I know it's probably because my deer mount ain't back here, and you don't get to see that big old buck. It's messing with the camera.
I think Dustin came in and actually just messed up something here.
Goodness.
I don't know what happened.
I did something, guys.
We'll blame him anyway. But
yeah,
another thing that I did this past week, and we're about wrapped up with this video, I went out and put the 34 transducer and the 32 on my boat and did a comparison live video and adjusted them the best settings I could get with the pollen in the air, or on the water rather. Pollen's been a real factor for me down here, but it's been an issue that we had to kind of work through. And like I said, I shot a video with the 34 on my boat, same time with the 32. We're going to release that this week. So I gave you all the settings that I'm using, and the screens look actually pretty good after I did some settings. Talked with, Chad and some other guys, Hayden, Zeke, and we got the settings that I felt really comfortable on my units. And, it actually, they look really good.
Yeah, I watched the video today. It's good. You guys won't want to miss it. Chad Rogers, you are right, actually. Tomorrow we will not be doing the live due to Bachelor being on. I'll actually FaceTime my wife and we'll be watching it together. We don't miss The Bachelor. So, yeah, Brad will be in for a weird excursion tomorrow.
Yeah. Who else is planning on fishing tomorrow? I know tomorrow looks just fantastic.
And then the few days after it don't look very good. So, surely some people's going fishing tomorrow.
One thing, we talked about, Grenada, but it's not even Grenada Lake, but it's about choosing the right place on the lakes when it comes to these wind forecasts. Look at the wind forecast and make a decision there. What's going to be the safest boat ramp to use, but also the safest route for you to get to where you want to be fishing at. Tomorrow is going to be probably the best day in the
next week anyway.
Next 4 or 5 days anyway. So if you have a chance, definitely I would advise getting out there tomorrow.
There's a few people
going to
be out there. Thursday for me on Grenada, Chad Rogers, he'll find a way to find them no matter what the weather is. So nowhere there. Enid Lake, George, let us know how you do. Next Tuesday we'll be here waiting for a report. Houston's going out. Heck yeah.
Remember, guys, too, if you hadn't subscribed to the YouTube side of things, take a few minutes for us and help us out. It really helps our channel grow. Also, cannot thank Bobby Garland Baits enough for doing this thing. It helps get Dustin involved, me involved, and, they're really standing behind us and helping us grow this deal. And everybody that watches and commenting, I will say it again, probably every week, appreciate you guys a tremendous amount. Help us grow this deal. Tell your buddies that out there fishing. Tell them to join in, ask some questions. I get probably, 5 to 10 either text messages or messages a week, emails, asking about, different techniques and different questions.
For sure.
This is not only a live scope show. This is not a spider rigging show. This is a crappie fishing format. So if you got questions when it comes to crappie fishing, I can promise you, I see so many great fishermen even commenting on here, too many to even list.
For sure.
That we'll find the right answer. If I don't know it, Dustin doesn't know it.
And there's a lot of people fishing different lakes on here. So if you have a lake you have questions about, don't mind putting them on the comments, and I guarantee you somebody in here will help you. And if they can't,
yeah, about the fishing reports. I'm not telling you to post on here the exact location you're catching fish, but kind of help everybody out and give them that little boost of confidence when they go to a lake and say, hey, man, I saw that Chad Rogers hit up there on a Grenada the other day, and I love it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's all about one sport, one community, and it's Crappie Connection. It's you guys. It's not about the Dustin show or the Brad Chappell show. It's
Yeah.
about you guys.
For sure.
Yeah, Chad, you know, that Keith Mills video that I reposted this week was actually shot about 2 years ago. And we're definitely hearing nowadays more and more about crappie management and things like that. But that's actually a 3-part series. And that man right there, when it comes to crappie fishing success, or whatever you want to call it, through Mississippi, that guy right there had a big hand in it. And he goes through a lot of different ways that what has made Mississippi such a great fishery like it is. You know, it's anywhere from, you know, radio tracking crappie to all these different studies that they do on Lake Creel surveys. I know this Monday they were doing creel surveys here at Ross Barnett. When you get up to the boat ramp, all the biologists is wanting to do is see what you're catching, how long it's what's getting taken out. And, you know, I know they're looking at live sonar. That's a big topic. And this week's podcast that'll be released tomorrow is the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to live sonar. And it's just shot exactly like it states. There's good things about live sonar, there's bad things, and there's ugly things about it. We always like it. The guys that use it, you know, it's a great tool, definitely. And, you know, in my opinion, when it comes to live sonar, it's almost like it's changed crappie fishing forever. It's changed a lot of the pros that are very successful, like Hammer, Dustin, and a lot of these younger guys. But it's also made it bring a lot more people into the sport. The only thing about live sonar to me, not to get too in depth with the podcast, would be, you know, we've got to be conservative. Keep what you need. Keep what you're going to actually eat. Feed people with. I wouldn't keep the fish that you're going to put in the freezer and let them freeze or burn.
Yeah.
You know, tomorrow I've got a guide trip, and all we're doing is catching, releasing, and tagging some more crappie forever fish on the reservoir. So even along with those guys, if you catch a crappie forever fish that's tagged, you know, you're going to either get a hat, a shirt, a discount, and it kind of depends on which tag number you're going to get.
Has anyone tagged any crappie at Arcabutla? I'm not sure. I would say no, but a good person to ask here is like Chad. He fishes it. A few guys here fish Arcabutla. I'm pretty sure there's no tagged fish in Butler, but you guys will have to just wait on an answer here because we'll get one by
Jeffrey. I see that you stated that you watched the Josh Johnson video, and that guy's definitely a world of knowledge when it comes to crappie fishing. But have you watched the Keith Mills? You know, Keith Mills, like I said, he's been the leading biologist in Mississippi for, I'd say, 20 plus years. And he states some fantastic facts when it comes to crappie management in that video. So if you haven't watched that 3-part series when it comes to Keith Mills, it's Mississippi Crappie Management, I believe is the title. It's going to be really good, or it has been really good. You know, I see the Josh Johnson podcast that we did. It's like 50,000 views on it, but the Keith Mills is only a couple thousand. So I advise you guys, if you hadn't watched that one as well, jump on that one, watch it. It will kind of blow your mind on some of the things. I know the biggest thing I remember from that podcast is they had radio track crappie. Take a guess how far they would travel in 24 hours.
In 24 hours, I'm starting to learn from Grenada, Patrick Stone and all them tagging fish. It's blown my mind, the stuff they come back with. So I'd say a couple miles. They can.
They had one track crappie that traveled 5 miles
in 24 hours.
In 24 hours.
That's unbelievable.
And that's exactly what I told him when he said that. And he said, Brad, kind of think about it. He said, all they got to do is swim.
Mm-hmm. But man, they got to swim in a certain direction. They got to follow it. That's amazing. And I almost wonder, you know, those tag fish and everything. Do they run from the stress, or are they running?
Well, these were radio tracked way before tagging was a thing here.
So if they radio tracked them, did they end up catching them again, or did you ever?
Well, they radio tracked them, and I guess until they fell out of them or whatever, but they
Under
they
the-
did it for a while.
That's
A really
crazy.
cool study that they've got out.
Wow, that is crazy.
But cannot appreciate you guys enough. 10K Crappie connection. Hit it, hit it, hit it.
Yeah, guys, hey, we're just proud to be this far on the live. Let's be honest. We're happy that this internet connection stayed this long. So
Yeah.
we're glad y'all are here. And again, without Bobby Garland Bates, I wouldn't even be here. And we're really enjoying this. I really enjoy you guys. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for the messages about your guys' lakes. And if you guys are catching them, post it on here. And then Charles, we'll see what you do first week of April. Seeing you said that you're going to give us a report next week. You're going to be up here. So good luck on that trip.
Yeah. Like I said, if you got questions, save them up throughout the week and say, hey, man, I'm going to catch you guys on Tuesday night. And that's what I've been trying to do when somebody asks me questions when it comes to, come back and ask us during the live. Craig, yeah, 903 Fishing. Great, another YouTube channel there. Big shout out to those guys. Mox's Jig Heads, Michael. I mean, appreciate everybody. But till next time, you got Brad Chapel. Well, hold on, I see. Hey, there you go. All right, David, I see you. I didn't want to leave you out there, buddy. But I appreciate you guys.
David. Yes, sir.
Until next time, I guess.
Yeah.
Next
Signing out. Y'all holla.
All right. Keep them coming, man. Keep snatching. Holla.